If you are just joining us tonight, Saudi Arabia now admits missing journalist and activist Jamal Khashoggi is dead, saying he was killed during a fistfight at the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. The president calls the Saudi admission a good first step. Congressman from New York, GOP, Peter King, serves on the House Homeland Security Committee and joins us live. Congressman, great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you very much.
All right, we've talked a lot about other lawmakers' reaction. What is your reaction to their explanation?
To me, Shannon, it just raises more questions. For instance, I can't believe you have a 15-man intelligence team that they couldn't bring down Khashoggi without any bodily injury at all. I mean, they are experts. They know what they're doing. So even if there was a fight, which is hard to believe, but if there were a fight, he would, they would be able to bring him down. They didn't have to kill him. They didn't even have to cause any serious injury. People of that stature, your physical stature, training, they could have brought him down. Then there's the question of, what were their orders when they went there? It's one thing to say that you misunderstand an order, but to misunderstand to the extent between taking somebody back to Saudi Arabia for interrogation and killing him is a big difference. And also, what happened to the body? Where is the body? And is it true that it was, carved up and torn apart, and was it buried somewhere? So there's too many unanswered questions. It is a first step. They're admitting responsibility, and they are getting rid of some of the top people. They are firing them, and God knows what's going to happen to them. But still, there has to be a lot more to the story. And how far does it go to how close does it get to the Crown Prince? Absolutely,
a key question. Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff says this tonight. Said the announcement that Jamal Khashoggi was killed while brawling with a team of more than a dozen dispatched from Saudi Arabia is not credible. The kingdom and all involved in this brutal murder must be held accountable. And if the Trump administration will not take the lead, Congress must. What can you do? What will you do if there's a direct connection and you don't think the White House has been tough enough?
Well, Congress can impose individual sanctions on Saudi leaders. We can tie up money. We can certainly cut into the arms deals. But I also understand what the president is probably trying to do. It is important to do all we can to keep the Saudis as an ally, even if we don't fully trust them, even if they are amoral. It serves our purposes. Now, we have more leverage over them than we ever did before because we have much more increased oil supplies. So we have to find a way to penalize them, to punish them, but also keep them against Russia, against Iran, and helping countries like Israel and Jordan and others. So, again, it's a balancing act the president's in. Now, other presidents have been there, and they've had to do the same thing. It's a little tougher for President Trump because this one is so much out in the open. You have an American resident, a leading journalist, and actually being killed in a Saudi consulate, which is supposed to be safe grounds for everyone, and then under such mysterious circumstances. So this is tougher for the president than it has been for other presidents. There are very few saints in the Middle East, certainly in countries like Saudi Arabia and others. So, listen, I understand what the president's trying to do, but he's got to make it clear that we're going to stand by our values, and there has to be severe action taken against Saudi Arabia, because the statement they put out tonight, yes, it's a first step, but it's still a long way to go.
Well, there are plenty of people tonight, and all through the last week or so, who have been saying, listen, the president is buying hook, line, and sinker what the Saudis are saying. He's actually giving their talking points for them. Here's what Senator Lindsey Graham said on our show the other night when I asked about this.
This is the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen toward a president of the United States. He has done everything he could to help Saudi Arabia, and this is the way you're repaid. He's a strong man, President Trump. This will not go unanswered.
Do you see this as disrespectful by Saudi leaders to the U.S.?
Oh, it's disrespectful. Listen, I can take disrespect. The fact is, though, that what they've done here is it shows that they are still in many ways back in the 19th century somewhere, thinking they can carry out this type of murder in a consulate with the whole world, in effect, knowing what it is and getting away with it. So, yeah, it's dumb on their part. It shows a certain savagery. But again, we have to keep in mind that if we can, without sacrificing our principles, somehow keep the Saudis doing the right thing as far as intelligence, as far as Iran, as far as Russia. But again, we can't give them everything, and we have to make it clear that they have to be penalized and punished for what they did. It's a line to walk. We have to do it. And again, if they don't come forward, we have to take more severe action.
All right. Congressman Peter King, thank you for joining us live tonight to weigh in.